Hello, Sammy here from the Gateway team, and today I'm doing the first of my top 3 anime antagonists of all time. Now, this is part of a new bite-sized video series which will be coming out on our YouTube channel, but a few might filter their way over to our Instagram and of course on our website, which you can visit at www.gatewaytoanime.com. Now, I love a good antagonist. There's something about a good bad guy that appeals to me in a way that perhaps speaks to our more primal natures. An antagonist gets to do things that most of us only dare to dream of doing. I mean, what if we just threw caution to the wind and dedicated ourselves to chaos? What if we broke bad or had a goal so important to us that we would burn the world to the ground just to achieve it? That's what great antagonists get to do. Now, just a little heads up, this video and the subsequent to follow will contain a ton of spoilers, so if you haven't seen any of the anime these characters derive from, I'd suggest hitting pause and looping back around after you've watched them, but if you don't mind being spoiled or have seen the shows, well, let's jump on in. When it came to choosing my top 3 antagonists, I didn't overthink it, that they all represent 3 distinct character archetypes that I believe make for a great antagonist in fiction. A great antagonist needs to feel relatable and human. They need to be real people. Gone are the days of the dastardly mustache-twirling villain. Just having an antagonist be evil for the sake of being evil, it just doesn't cut it. For a show to really sing, both the protagonist and the antagonist need to feel relatable and, most importantly, human. An antagonist gets to take this a step further when their goal is actually understandable and the audience can empathize with it. You know you've got a great antagonist on your hands when you're forced to think, hey, this person totally has the right idea. It's just the way they're going about it's kinda not right. The ideal they're pursuing is noble, even virtuous. It's just the way in which they're going about achieving this ideal, usually pretty messed up. That is Shogo Makishima to a T.
Psycho-Pass is set in a dystopian future where the Sybil system, an advanced neural link super AI, has been established in Japan and now controls all of society. Humans are sorted into careers by the system from a very young age, and they have very little choice in the matter. The system measures people's emotions through a neural link technology implanted in all human brains called a Psycho-Pass. This measures humans' emotional states at all given times, and when the emotional state of a person reaches unacceptable levels of stress or duress, the Public Safety Bureau is notified where the inspectors and enforcers are dispatched. Enforcers being people who are deemed latent criminals by the system, but are therefore able to apprehend and subjugate would-be criminals on behalf of the clear-hued inspectors' orders. The inspectors will ascertain what action is to be taken, to either subdue the culprit and administer psychological care to them in a facility of some sort, or if the reading gets too high, then they will become targets for elimination. The instruments the inspectors and enforcers carry are called Dominators, which take Psycho-Pass readings on whoever they are pointed at and make the decision to not operate at all, stun, or eliminate the target. What makes Makishima special is that he is criminally asymptomatic, which means the Sybil system cannot get an accurate reading on him even when he's literally committing murders. He operates completely outside of the system. Basically, Makishima is a psychopath. But rather than just being a lunatic who enjoys wanton murder and mayhem for its own sake, Makishima believes the Sybil system has robbed society of its innate humanity and individualism. He wants to see the splendor of people's souls. That can only happen when humans have free will and the right to choose their own destiny. So far, so good, right? Makishima goes further. He believes life needs thrill and excitement, that the flawed nature of humanity is essential to the very nature of being human itself. It is our flaws that make us human, for better or for worse. As Oliver Stone once said, to fail is not tragic, to be human is. Makishima believes the Sybil system is turning everyone into feelingless, emotionless drones who have no true desires or wants of their own. Now, one of Makishima's interesting character traits is that he is obsessed with literature and art. He has a wonderful scene where he regales the importance of physical books and how vital they are to humanity. He quotes philosophy ad nauseum and is a lover of fine art. All things he considers the peak of human potential and ability, which have been subdued due to Sybil's dominance over free-thinking minds. Dangerous and provocative ideas are no longer allowed, and Makishima cannot stand for that. Makishima believes that free will is the most essential part of being a human being, and without it, we are not truly living. That's good. Only he sets out to challenge and break the system, encouraging and aiding murderers to shake up the sedated populace into feeling something, even fear and horror. That's bad. It's like, hey man, you know what? Great idea. Let's hold on to our ostensible free will, if it really exists. Let's allow ourselves to be human, actually feel emotions. Definitely. But maybe the whole murdering side of things isn't the right way to go about this. The show makes us feel somewhat complicit, like we're almost on Makishima's side for part of the show, and it feels a little icky. In fact, in some ways, the show's co-protagonist Kogami concurs with a lot of what Makishima is doing. Bizarrely, they understand each other better than anybody else, despite being diametrically opposed. It's a classic nemesis conflict. We, as an audience, feel somewhat conflicted over our own ideals of free will. Do I actually have control over my own mind? Am I simply a cog in the societal machine? Am I truly alive, or am I just existing? Is my perception of reality even real? Ah! Whoa. Now, there are reasons for Makishima going to such extremes. He is, after all, facing a seemingly omniscient, all-powerful, all-seeing machine that has literally subjugated the entire of Japan under its collective will, so the extremity of his actions does kind of make sense. However, any sane-minded audience member has to jump off the Makishima train once he starts brazenly manipulating and killing innocent people. Now, many of Makishima's detractors complain that he's an edgelord soft boy who disappears up his own ass too much, and that is a semi-valid criticism. However, I think he's actually a wonderfully textured character who manages to steer clear of many of the stereotypical pitfalls that could have befallen him if the writing wasn't so tight, which is a major problem with season 2. A big part of why Makishima lands so hard for me is because the whole show is set up as a nemesis conflict between Makishima and Kogami, and the narrative positions us to get on board with both characters' ideals, if not equally, then close to it. All three lead characters operate according to their rather specific and intrinsic worldviews and principles. The story brings these principles into conflict, which is what makes it such a fascinating show. Psycho-Pass Season 1. Big tick from me, and particularly a big tick from Makishima Shogo for making it so damn enthralling and compelling.
Well, there you have it. That is the first of my top 3 anime antagonists of all time. Join me next time to find out who is number 2. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.